WSWT Radio. Shady start bringing them hits. Come chill and listen real quick. WSWT Radio. Shady start bringing them hits.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Sadie Star, and I have a special guest in the building, well, on Zoom. Oh my God, Mr. Christopher, how are you doing?
I'm good, Sadie. How are you, darling?
I am doing wonderful. Oh my God, it's such an honor to connect with you. I am so happy today. Today's gonna be a good day. That's what you wrote on your post. Today's gonna be a good day. Today is gonna be a good day.
Today's gonna be a good day, and it became you. You became the good thing for me today. That's right. I knew I was feeling something.
I know. There's something about them Sadies, you know.
That's right, Sadie. That's right.
Yes. I'm so excited to have you on today. So I just want to ask a couple of questions, you know, things that you got going on, because I know you're a phenomenal person. Oh my God, you go way back to like the 80s. You've been doing things since the 80s, and you know, when family was family. So why you look like that? You look like.
Because she's like, man, you took me all the way back. I'm like,
all the way
80s,
back to the 80s.
right?
Let's start all the way back to the 80s. When you was in a nightclub, let's start all the way back to
what you know about that? Wow.
Yes.
Really?
See, I told you I've been doing my research on you. See?
Have. Right,
yes, I have. Right. So let's take this all the way back to the 80s when you first started, when you was in a nightclub, you know, doing your thing. Let's go all the way back. So tell us how you became
back in the nightclub, I used to do PR and manage. And wow, you really going? It's funny. And just all in that life. At the time. I don't know what I would say about it. I mean, you know, it's nightclub life. You know, that's about it. Is it something specific? Is it something specific?
You look at it like you like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay. I go back then. Is there anything specific that you would like to know about the nightclub?
No, okay, because I know back in like the 80s, you know, when you was on a nightclub thing, and then you know, you end up getting married, you had Raven, but it's like with that, you know, because so many people, they start from somewhere. You know, you had your dreams of being something big, and you know, you captured it.
Okay, well, but once Raven was born, then there was the dream of, you know, she's going to have to be a star, and she needed a name to be a star, and so I gave her the name Raven because that was the first bird Noah released from the ark, according to the Bible. And he released the dove, no, the pigeon. Is it the dove or the pigeon? One of after. But the raven is a very, very, very smart, intelligent bird. Very intelligent bird. So intelligent that the bird found land and come back. It made sense. It's like, why am I gonna go back to the boat? However, the dove or whatever, those birds are trained sort of like to come back, or like you have homing pigeons and like that. They don't think on themselves as opposed to like a raven. So I thought that name was perfect. You know, it was like she'll find her land one day, and she was an intelligent thing. And then my wife at the time gave her the second name, which is Symone, and we just put a hyphen in it because we needed two names as one. Because we figured, you know, it's like share. People, you know, big stuff. This is just a little baby in the hospital. But we dreamed big because we knew it's like, whoa, once the reality. You have any children?
Yes.
Okay, so once you had that little baby, right? Once you had that little baby, reality kicks in. You know, it kicks in like, damn, this is going to be expensive. That's where I started thinking like, oh, we all having fun while before the baby, we were young, driving it. Just getting out having fun, you know. And then all of a sudden, baby come, and it's like, oh snap, you got to get serious. Everything changed, right? Yeah. And then you start, and then everything changes to whereas no, it's not about you as much as it is now about this child y'all done got in there and did the nasty and brought forth into the world, right?
Right.
And so what's happening? So I didn't have a clue, I was always such a free spirit, and Lydia too. And so I was like, the only way this can really be is, she's gonna have to be a star. And then mama believed too. And so we started to put her in from 6 months old. We would be at a place like Piedmont Park or at the park, and everybody would say, oh, she's so gorgeous. Oh, she's so gorgeous. Oh, what a great personality. And I started hearing that because I worked at night. So I would have her in the park during the day. That's my first child. I didn't know what else to do. I just put the child in the grass. I don't know what the hell to do. You know what I'm saying? I would say, go and roll around in the grass. Roll around. So anyway, but I'm itching. But I listened and I said, whoa, everybody keeps saying this. Of course we don't say that about our own baby.
Right, exactly.
And so I said, well, I tell you what, we'll take her to the #1 agency in Atlanta. #1. If they get her, then I think that the message is coming in loud and clear. And so we took her to this agency called L'Agence, just out the blue. They signed her on the spot. I was like, oh, snap. So from 6 months on, she started modeling, in the newspaper every Sunday. Whether she's in a Macy's ad or, Toys R Us ad or, that type of scenario. So that was, we believed was the blessing that we had asked for it to be. But she started blowing up in Atlanta and became that #1 child, that all the photographers want to take. And it was a big thing in the household on Sundays when you used to get the paper, when the paper really mattered. That was back in the day. Now you got internet. Ain't nobody looking at no paper. So it's like, oh, you pull out the big sheets and it's like, and she would be excited. Everybody would be excited. It was just a great, great, great time. And then while that was going on, she had hit about 1.5 years or 2 years old or whatever. And we were watching her mother's favorite show was the Cosby Show. I mean, I like the Cosby Show. I like Cosby. Everybody loved it. But she was obsessed because no matter where we were, she had to get home to watch the Cosby Show. It's like, but wait a minute, we eating. And so the child is, they're gonna mimic the parents. Yeah, let's go see the Cosby Show, whatever. And then one day we was watching it and she was in front of the TV and we're on the sofa. And she turned around and said, Dad, I can do what Rudy can do. I said, really?
Wait a minute, how old was she when you said that?
About 2 years old.
Wow.
About 2 years old. I said, Dad, I can do what Rudy can do. And then one thing about it, even when she was modeling, we didn't look at it as oh, you're just gonna have fun, right? Because I come from a different world. I'm like, look, you be wanting Hello Kitty and shit, I mean, why would you be wanting all that stuff? Let me tell you something. This stuff that you do, you make money with.
Right.
And so she modeled it up. She had a check, even at that young of age, and that she can go to the store and get what she wants, which is an incredible mindset to have at such a young age. And that's why her work method is so good even until now. Because I would notice a lot of the other parents would be, oh, just have fun, little Jimmy, just have fun. But they working. You know what I'm saying? They working. So why not teach them? There's this thing called show business, and then there's the other side, which is called the business of show, which is more important to understand and know than the other. And so she knew at a young age what that can do. So anyway, when she said, Dad, I can do what Rudy can do, started to explain what that would entail. It's like, hey, long time on a set, how you're on a set with the camera, whatever. It's like longer, but you got to know your lines, da. And she just had this in her since she was already went to the top where she was in Atlanta on the modeling. I could just see it in her eyes. You know how you can feel your own children. She was serious. So being a first child, I had no choice but to say, well, then we got, how do we get to New York to meet her? Now, when you do that, now you got all black people. Black people, very special people. I love black people. But black
Yeah, I
people,
love
very
it.
special. Yes, yeah, very special. They said, what makes you think your dumb ass can go up to New York and meet Bill Cosby? Did they
Right.
call you? And I was, no. Do you know him? No. Oh, so you just going, So anyway, so I went to the agent here and said, how can we get to New York? And she happened to say, well, you know what? We have an exchange program with the Ford agency in New York, which is at the time the #1 agency, adults or children. I don't even know if it's around anymore. And so they made a deal. They said, well, listen, if she can come up to New York, we can't guarantee that we'll sign her, but we'll take a look. Because, you #1 agency, man, you ain't got to, whatever. But we believe so strongly in what she could do. And they say ignorance is bliss.
Right.
We didn't know about the study. I just always felt that once he met her, it's over. I mean, this is the greatest. You should be blessed to have my child. That was our attitude,
Right.
because she was really good at what she did, and I didn't see any reason why she would think. You understand what I'm saying? And I think it's important at that age with your child or whatever, when they start to have a dream, that you should do as a parent, do all that you can to make that dream come true. Because that's all we do anyway as human beings. I mean, we dream, we wish these dreams can manifest in our lives, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times it doesn't with a child because they're limited because of their parents' limitations. Oh, well, you can't do that, or you can't do that.
You're right.
And once you start planting that seed in a child, especially between 2 and 7 years old, that's when they're programmed.
Yes.
And if your program is you can't do it, or you don't even think about it, that's going to last with that child the rest of her life. People don't understand that.
Yes.
And because your parents limited you and was negative, you're going to put that on your children. So it becomes, so now our parents yes, they did. But I came out of it. I was like, no, I can do anything. But anyway, so we had to make that decision to sell everything we had, quit our jobs, and get into our little car and drive to New York in hopes that the Ford agency would sign her, because the only way that we would be able to do that show is to be in New York, because Cosby wasn't coming to Decatur for show. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Hey, he wasn't coming to the deck. Talking about, what's up, y'all good? That ain't happening. So with a dream, you have to go where the dream is. Right. And a lot of times people don't achieve their dreams because they're not willing to step out and go towards it. Because of what? Because of fear. And fear is crippling, and also fear is a dream killer. So anyway, we quit our jobs, and I know my mother was like, said, Lydia, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, why you want to talk to you? And she was like, I heard it, right? I heard. She was like, look, I gave birth to that fool. You ain't finna quit your job and go to New York with this fool. I'm going to go with my man. It's okay. So we went there. Drove all in New York. And we gave ourselves a year, right? We gave ourselves a year. If we don't make it in a year, but we want to give it that shot. Right. If we weren't picked up by the Ford agency, then we would have been stuck. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we get there and went in for the interview. They signed her on the spot.
Wow.
Dang, right? Again, a subtle message, right? Which goes back to the original dream. She's got, she needs to be a star. She needs to be famous, based on the fact that growing up and the rest of your life is going to be expensive. And you need to take care of yourself. It's just, to me, it's no different than you say, hey, my child is here. And she's going to go to Yale, or she's going to be a doctor. She's going to be whatever. There's no difference, right? It's no difference. And so she got signed on the spot. So she started modeling or whatever, and everybody started, they started loving her like it did in Atlanta. Okay, it's cool. But at the same time, we never lost focus on still looking for Bill Cosby.
Right.
That's why we're here. So we never left focus on that, and still didn't have a clue, because why? He wasn't looking for anybody that knew to be on the show. Come on, it was already
Wow.
it was already happening. So she started modeling, and she starts kicking New York's ass. Just start kicking it. She's now started to be up. Now there was a girl who was the number one girl. She was like 2 years older than her. She was 5, something like that. Her name was Brooke Fontaine. That tells you right there. With her name, Brooke Fontaine. I mean, damn,
Right.
that girl was awesome. She was
Right.
gorgeous.
Sounds
She was
smooth.
cute. Yeah, beautiful
Right.
hair and everything. And it was the 1 and 2 girls in New York. It was Brooke Fontaine,
Wow.
Raven Symone.
Wow.
And so they was doing the modeling, and there's that thing, who got that, who got that, who got that Fisher Price commercial, who got that, whatever the case may be. But still, at the same time, not losing focus on why we're here, because we only got 12 months.
Wow.
So now all this time, just couldn't find a way. So it was now 11 and a half months. So we had 6 months left. It was like, oh, snap, what's going to happen now? Because we're going to have to go back home. Now, you can't go back home. Again, I love black people.
And not with black people. You can't go back home.
I love black people. But you can't
Right.
take your ass back, because they going to get you. They going to get you. So you took your black ass to New York. Did you what again? You be like, well, I believe. I asked Jesus and the Lord. I said, well, the Lord didn't hear you, did it? So
Right.
So 11 and a half months later, you get a phone call from the manager. And he said, they have this movie called Ghost Dad that wants you to audition for.
Right.
Who starred in it? And he said, Bill Cosby, directed by Sidney Poitier. We were like, oh, snap. Oh, snap. That's it.
Divine favor.
Yes. Put us down.
Yes.
Put us down. Put us down. Okay. So we get to the audition. That whole night, now she had 8 pages of script she had to learn, but she had a photographic memory. Once we go over it and over it over, when she sleeps on, when she woke up, she had it. So we go into the audition, and we start to see everybody going in. If you know what an audition is, line after line. It was her time. She goes in. Raven's in there for like 30 minutes. Everybody else be like 10 minutes. Raven's in there for 30 minutes. I was like, oh, snap. I know Cosby in there, right? With Sidney Poitier, they love it. It's on. It's popping. Thank you, Lord. So it came out. When it came out, she came out. But who else came out behind her was Sidney Poitier. Not Bill Cosby. Sidney Poitier, because he was a good director. And he said, where the parents at? We were like, right here. He said, look, we love her. We love her, but we just feel that her age, she might not. But even though she knew her lines, even though she hit it, he was scared. And I say scared. He was scared.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, so now we're like, okay, what do? You just walk out. Just keep it moving. So here comes this little man that runs out and said, hold up. I'm with the booking agent, Hughes Moss, and we're casting for this movie, but we're also the people who cast for the Cosby Show. Would you like to meet Bill Cosby? That's when we was leaving the door. And it was like, well, let me check the schedule. This liar. No, I said, yeah. They said, won't you come tomorrow? Come tomorrow. And won't you do that reading for Bill? Because obviously Sidney called him Cement a Girl is good, but So we get there the next day, and who's there also? Brooke Fontaine.
Wow.
He was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? It was like, wow, This is not the time. So anyway, she called Brooke first to go in, right? And I was thinking in my mind, which is not good. Maybe if I trip her, and then go like, oh, she got epilepsy. Does she have epilepsy? What's wrong with the child? What is wrong? What is wrong? This was going on in my mind, but I knew it was wrong. It was wrong because the child was little and my feet were, I could have, I was like, oh! Anyway, she went in.
Wrong for
and,
that.
see, and so what happened? So what had happened was, she went in by herself. I'm gonna stay out, okay? Because there won't be no distraction, whatever. And so she came back out. I was like, "Yeah, bro, cool. What's happening?" And she said, "Raven, come in." Then she said, "Dad, Pop, you come in too." And I was like, "Oh no, I didn't want to do that." Because as a family at that point, we understood clearly that the moment was now.
Right.
Right? The moment was now. The moment that could change your life forever was now. Are you prepared? And we were. A lot of times people, when they get their moment, they're not prepared. Right. And so that moment comes and goes. So we were prepared. More importantly, she was prepared. How? She knew her lines. She knew everything. And plus, she knew everything. So I didn't want to be in there because first of all, I don't want to put out any stressful vibe from me when it's already stressful for her. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I came in, set me down in the chair, and I remember looking straight ahead. And I remember he has a brick wall in the dressing room. And I was just looking at the bricks,
Was you nervous? Just to meet your
Yeah, oh well, yeah. But I've never been the type to be like tripping over people. But yeah, it was. And so I remember Raven was running the lines when I was looking at just at the brick wall. I didn't want to look at it and just get it over with. Let me get out, because it's based on what he gonna say anyway, right? Right. And when everything is based on that, you don't know what he been through this morning. His wife couldn't not give him a little booty or something like that. He pissed off, frustrated. You know what I'm saying? They be,
God, you was
taking out him. My life is ruined because you didn't get no booty. So anyway, I'm looking at the brick wall. But I'm listening. I'm listening to the two go back and forth.
Right.
And she didn't miss a beat. Right. She didn't miss a beat. She was in his ass. She was in and now I start inside. I'm building like, ooh, girl.
Like, yes,
the thing was, and I'll always remember this. The thing was, it wasn't about, oh, you may get the show, right? My thought was, your moment was here. You hit that shit. I didn't care whether after that you got the show. I was just so proud of the fact how many people would have crumbled.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And you was there with that heart and that whatever. So when it was over, I jumped up with joy. And she jumped with joy. And she jumped into my arms and we're just going around because our whole thing together was, I hit that, Daddy. And I was like, yes, you did. I wasn't even caring about Kai. They were looking at me like, get security, please. This black man is going to. I didn't care. And we was going around in circles, whatever, and Bill started laughing. And I was like, yo, man, hey, I appreciate the opportunity, whatever, man. We came here a long way, whatever. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. Other than that, man, it was like, now let's get out of the city and celebrate because she did, to me, was the most incredible thing, And and the next day, it was he wanted her on the show, and everything changed after that.
Everything changed.
Yeah,
everything. How did your people back in Atlanta feel when you didn't go back home with your head down?
Oh, but it's different when you make it. I always knew it. I always knew. You just have to look at it with a side eye, like, really? I knew it was going. I love my people. Love my people. But if we had gone back, they would have been.
Yeah, they would have
You would
laughed
have been,
so hard. Oh my God.
ooh, they would have been
Yes.
like, you have got to be the stupidest. But the thing about it is, even in ancient history, throughout thousands of years, there's always been this saying that fortune favors the bold and unafraid, right?
Right.
From Alexander the Great to Napoleon to all these people, or all these people who was ultra successful or did something, they took a chance. They stepped out, not on fear, but on belief in themselves and whatever. And that's when fortune comes to you. When if we had not stepped out and went to New York,
Yes.
that dream never would have happened. We
Never
could have
happened.
stayed in Atlanta for 50, 60 years and been around them same folk that said you shouldn't go,
Yeah. Wow, that's
and been
powerful.
and would have been stuck with them for 50 years, and we wouldn't have done
Wow.
shit. Not a
Yep.
damn thing, right? Now,
Yes.
what they got to say about that. Now, they would never have helped you, right? They'd never help you, but they got plenty to say. They got
Yes.
plenty to say.
Yep.
Don't you slip up. Why you going
Yeah.
on? So, but I love them. I love them. It's just, and I really do. And so now the important thing here is, what does that do to a 2.5-year-old?
Wow.
Right? So now she understands that her dreams can become reality, that the impossible is possible. Because what are the chances, first of all, getting on a #1 show and a man ain't looking for nobody, and you get on it and then kick ass.
Man.
And then kick ass, right? So
Yes.
so now if we go back to how a child is programmed from 2 years old to 7 years old, so it's all the programming takes place. You either putting in programs that are positive or you putting in programs that are negative, right?
Right.
If you don't understand how it works, human being, if you don't understand how it works, you're just willy-nilly with it. Right? And that's programming your child. It's the people you leave your children with, right? All day long. You don't know what's going in their mind. You don't know what they're saying to your child. You know,
That's
we
true.
were
You're right.
fortunate.
So right.
We were fortunate that our child, she was with us all the time, 24/7. We were lucky. The programming came from us. But normally, which is cool with me or anybody else, is your programming from your friends, the programming from your culture, the programming from the school. You know what I'm saying? A teacher can say something. You don't even think about doing that. You can't do it, little Lucy, because of, you don't know what's going on. But if you understood clearly that from 2 to 7 is when it's like their children are just a tape recorder. Right?
Wow.
And the
Yeah.
subconscious is what's going to create the realities. So all of that's being fed into them is being recorded and it's never forgotten.
Wow.
So back to Raven, what did she understood on a different level that she can think it, speak it, and it can come true for her. And because of that belief is the reason why she's still relevant and successful today, 35 years later, right? Because there was never a fear to dream and to believe and know that it can come true. So that's very powerful, very powerful. And so when people ask at the time that was going on, oh, I want my child to do it, or I want to be able to do it, I didn't have a clue. In hindsight, it's always, oh yeah, I got it. In hindsight, it's always 2020. But I wanted to be able to give people that came to me about that, what that is. So when I retired from that career, I just traveled to places like Greece and France and studied these people who did like incredible stuff around the world. Why? Why was it? Why did we win? Why did we win? As opposed to when you're asking me in the middle of it, if you're in the hustle, I don't know. And then you start saying stuff, well, just keep hope alive. You know what? Keep your eye on the sparrow. On the what? On the sperm.
On the
You know,
sperm.
look, on the sperm.
Right.
And listen, these people are hungry, right? They want to make it. They want answers. They say, look, homie, I eat that sperm. I need to know, how can I make it like I didn't know. So, you know, I don't know, you know, Jesus would be there for you. Jesus has to do.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, people want to know because people want to eat. That people want to eat. Yes. You know what I mean? They got choices. You either go rise or you don't rise.
That's true.
Now, it's just real. It ain't, you know, it's just real. It's like there are poor people, there are rich people. You know, where do you fall on that scale? I don't know. I think it's a mindset thing, but anyway.
Yeah, it really is. Now, did you stay in New York, or did you stay in Atlanta, or did you move to New York?
No, I moved to New York, man. I mean, of course. Once that started going, what?
Like,
please, we were living up, living large. So, you know, we started at the bottom of New York. Next thing you know, we living on the Hudson with views of mountains. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's just the way it is. Life flips. You know, and it's like, oh, whoa, you know, yeah.
I remember when she played Olivia, and when she first came on the show, everybody was like, "Oh, what's this little pretty little girl?" You know, she was just so pretty and so smart. And I just remember, like, she was just so intelligent to be her age. Like, you don't see too many kids at the age of 2 with that type of personality. And it's like, by seeing her, you know, you can tell that she comes from a phenomenal background, like her parents and stuff. So I think y'all did a really, really good job, because she was awesome. She was most definitely
you know
awesome.
what? You know what the deal is? I'm gonna be honest with you, and I tell people this, and they don't understand. Raven is no different than any other child. She really isn't. It was how she was programmed.
Right. Okay.
Right. So she grew up in a scenario of, you didn't believe in failure, you know, and it was like, you can do this. I never underestimated her and what she should do. So I had to bring her up while her mother worked during the day. I worked the night, so I had her during the day, right? So I'm like, look, you got to talk, little mama. And she's like, you know, she's a baby. She's hungry. Right. I said, what do you want? You know, what do you want? Talk. Force your ass to talk. I ain't got time for this. Oh, my God. I ain't got time for all that Google gaga. What is it you want? I'm frustrated.
My God. And you know, Black people, we real quick be like, Google gaga, mommy's baby. You know, like, talk.
You need to tell me what's up. What's happening? Right. You got little babies in the jungle messing with piranhas and shit. You know what I'm saying? Jumping from tree to tree. Come on now.
Oh, my God.
But no, I remember that. I do remember. It was like, I never underestimated. It was like, you supposed to talk. Like,
you got me up your crying.
No, they don't, Chris. Chris, don't.
Oh my God.
So you can't eat by yourself, but you can't use a fork.
Oh my God.
Like, hold the bottle up like this. Come on now, look at this.
So you made this baby talk.
That's it. I didn't know what she wanted. Crying and stuff. What is all that?
Oh my God. Woman up, woman up.
That's right. Man up. Man up.
Wow, that's deep.
But in joking, but in seriousness, it was like, we underestimate these children. I say that in joke, but we underestimate them, man, because you look at it's like, oh, little Johnny, get out the sun, little Johnny, don't run over there, little Johnny, don't do that. Come back over here, little Johnny, before the tree fall. But you got children growing up in the Amazon for real.
That's true.
Come on now. That's in true. The jungle, running with the fish.
That's true.
Kill it. And they, you know what I'm saying? Be all in the water with the piranha fish. Get the fish. Umbuku. Come on, Umbuku. And Umbuku be getting the fish. You understand?
That's true.
It's wobbling. It's a piranha. But little Johnny can't even walk outside.
That's true.
Right?
You're right.
So what that tells you is that we underestimate them and limit them. But if we don't limit them, they will rise to the occasion because that's who we are as human beings. People don't understand that. So you say forced to talk, it's like you got children 4 years old can speak 5 languages.
Wow. That's true.
Right? But you
That's
got
true.
little dumbass Johnny, he can barely speak. Little Johnny, speaking.
Oh my God. For all the
I'm
Johnnies out
just
there,
kidding.
please don't take him,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Because we don't want
I'm
little Johnny, little Ray knocking at
No,
your door.
Johnny cool. Johnny cool, man. I'm just making a joke. Come on now. Y'all be serious. I'm just playing. But
now, you know, now with now when you was on the set of Bill Cosby,
yeah.
I mean on the Cosby Show, now because he has such a fatherly figure, and I think that he was the person that introduced the Black family into, like, well, I think in my era, to how to sit at the table, how to just be cordial with one another. Now, when you met him, was he like that in person, like the fatherly figure?
Sure. I mean, yeah. But I don't really want to get into, with Bill too much. But yeah, man, he was cool. Look, he changed my child's life forever. Because he said yes. Because he said yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And then there are other certain people in the career that said yes. Because sometimes we have a habit, we're too busy hearing no.
That's true. That's so true.
And when you have certain people that change your life to say yes. Now, I'm not saying that to say, I don't know what type. He was good. He was good to me. He was good to us, And I had
was
fun
crazy
with
about Bill Cosby. Like,
me too. That was my idol.
A phenomenal person. Yes.
That as a child, my dream was to meet him one day. When I used to watch him on the Johnny Carson show, when he would, and I did, and then I met him, and then he blessed my child. So, that's deep. All of those levels. And I mean, it's unfortunate what has gone down, but but the thing is, but he's a human being. A lot of people don't. And when you ask me, were you excited to meet it? I'm excited, but I've never been one to put people up on
the
pedestals, because you're still a man, brother. You got to go to the bathroom like me. You know what I mean?
If I saw him, like, oh my God, Bill Cosby, because he was just I think he just changed the Black community, He did. I still watch the Cosby Show to this day. I really do. Because it just brings such a warmth in your home, So,
and it was funny, man.
Phenomenal.
It was funny. The show was incredible, man. I mean,
but who really made it phenomenal was your daughter. She came in and she shut it down. When I say she shut it down, she shut it down.
She shut it down.
Yes, she did. She came in and she did her thing. Yes. Because Rudin started getting older. People, she was still cute, but when Olivia came in, it was something totally different.
I love it.
It was different.
The thing about Raven was, during that time, the other show was where they had those little white twins. They were the Olsen twins.
Yeah, the Olsen twins, yeah.
And it took 2 of them to do that show. And I remember that when they would do a show, we went to see it and each line had to be recited to them. And when one was tired, the other one could step in.
Oh, wow.
And I remember my child had to know all the lines. It was only her. And she didn't flub nothing. And then, but they got the $1 billion. That was so amazing to me. They got the billion. But
of course,
Well, and the thing about it was to Raven as such a child, she couldn't understand, right? She couldn't understand, like, why I work so hard. This is a story, and it's a true story. I don't care. And she used to be Elizabeth Taylor's PR person. I wanted to get with her. She said, "You know what? Let me go out here, and you're on the show, #1 show, and get you these endorsements, whatever." We was like, "Oh, that's great. That we seen it. It could happen." She came back, man. She had this look in her eye. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, She says, I'm embarrassed. I said, embarrassed? Why? Her name was Chin Sam, CHEN and SAN. And powerful PR. I mean, you know, Elizabeth Taylor, come on, get out. I mean, she was powerful. She had the context and everything. And she said, I'm embarrassed. I said, what? She said, they're racist. I said, what are you talking about? You know, they're not going to give her. They're not going to give her anything.
Wow.
You know, they're not going to give her anything. And I just remember that. I just remember that. And I remember the hurt in her eye because the reality sat in her like it sat in us. Right. Wow. When you would see others, they got it, you know, and not even close to the talent. It had nothing to do with the talent. Nothing to do with the talent. And so how do you explain that to a child? So we simply said, look, that's the way the world is. And you're going to have to be 10 times better than that. That's just the way it is. So just make sure you're on time. Make sure you got your stuff ready. Make sure that you're prepared. Make sure, and then we'll make the best out of what we can do. Don't put your mind on that because you can't compete with that. You see what I'm saying? And she had to filter that. And then she was like,
at such a young age, that's crazy.
At such a young age. And did we hide that from her? No, I never did. Maybe out of ignorance, but I said, this is what they're saying. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what you're up against. So to me, it's always important to be upfront and honest about it. But it helped. It helped. Even Raven is the most successful young Black TV sitcom star in the history of television.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Okay, but it will never be said.
It will never be another Raven Symone, put it like that.
but you know what? But it would never be said.
No, of course.
Yeah, it would never be said. To go from where you were, all of that, up into having your own show, to executive producing, direct, bada bing, that should be, but it will never be said.
But you know what? That's why we have to build up our own Black Wall Street again, so we can start giving our own stuff our credit, you know? But it's like, would it ever happen? Will it ever happen?
Well, see, now, I love my people. I love my people. I do. I really
gotta
do.
love us. Gotta love us.
Gotta love us. But there's such a thing called epigenetics. Okay? Epigenetics is a term used when something happens so horrible to a people that it was ingrained in their genes.
Wow.
And that down through the genes, the actions and behaviors remain consistent. So in slavery, when it was like boss eating, boss don't know shit. Boss, Lydia done left the plantation. What?
Right.
Boss, like what? Get the dog, right?
Get the dog.
Now, get the dog. They done got Lydia. Lydia like, damn, what happened?
Wow.
I'm back again, boss. Huh? What?
We are our own enemy.
Willie thinking about running, you know. And so what happens is we were taught, okay, we were taught to be how we are. It's not our fault.
We are our own enemy.
Yes, it's not our fault. That's when I say I love my people. I do love my people, but it's not your fault. It's in your genes. You still going to boss. You still going to boss saying, Johnny finna run. Now, you should let Johnny run, right? Johnny been getting his ass beat for 200 years. Let Johnny go. You said, boss. Johnny,
now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Now, because I love talking about stuff like this. Now, do you think that, because it's the way I think when I talk about different stuff like this, people are like, oh, you're a conspiracy theory. No, it's not about me being a conspiracy theory. It's just the fact that I really believe that A lot of so-called Black people did not get off a boat. I believe we was already here. Do you believe
we
that?
were. No.
I believe that.
A lot of
that.
people. Well, listen. The Egyptians made it here. There was a culture here called the Olmec.
Okay.
Olmec, and they have these huge heads of stone of broad-nosed Black people.
Right.
Of course, we were here.
Right.
Of course, we were here. You
I
know what I'm
believe that.
saying? We were called the children of the sun. At one time around the world, there was one civilization. Because you can't have pyramids all over the world reflecting the stars of Orion. All of this stuff being without it being understood. Okay, that's too deep. Without it being one culture, without it being a communication, without there being, all right. But again, they're not going to tell you that.
No.
Just like they won't tell you about Raven or other, they won't tell you that. Why won't they tell you that? Well, the reason being is if they boost up what's really real, that downgrades them, if you think about it.
Yep.
Because at the time the Olmecs was happening, or the Egyptians were happening, they say Europeans were still in caves. I'm just saying, right?
Okay, I agree
I'm
with
just
you.
saying, okay? Now they rose up and kicked some ass, right? They kicked some ass, whatever. But, you know, and so that story is, if you're in power now, you don't want that story out.
You don't want that story out. No, you don't.
You don't want that story because
you
you'd be like, Daddy.
They was really over
their
y'all?
children's daddy. Yeah. Or not over y'all, but they were really that powerful.
Exactly.
They were really that technologically. You understand what I'm saying? You can't. They made you believe that slaves built the pyramid. But the pyramid inside, from the height and the circumference of the pyramid, is the circumference, and you put those together, is the circumference of the earth. I mean, it's so deep. I mean, the pyramid is tuned at F sharp. F sharp. How do you tune a damn pyramid? It's because in the first place, it wasn't the Egyptians didn't build it. It was built before the flood. Right? It was when the Egyptians got to the pyramid was already up. They already know that the Sphinx was there before the pyramid. It's older than it is because of the water erosion. They already know this.
Okay.
So it changes history. Who was there before? Pre-Diluvian. I think it's called the Pre-Diluvian, before the flood. That's when it was there. Because they got a watermark on the pyramid where water was. It's like, what? So anyway, ain't no slave in
do you believe our history is in the Bible?
Well, see, now that's I don't want to. If you look at the Sumerian culture, remember this. The Sumerian culture. They wrote a book. There's a book called the Enuma Elish, right? And they had all of these tablets. And this was a civilization before Egypt. And they wrote on the stone tablet 10,000 years, 5,000 years, before the Bible was even made. The stories that are in the Bible are in the Enuma Elish. That's all I'm saying. They had the origin of life, and they talked about Edon and gene splicing or whatever. It was amazing. I'm very deep, as I told you. I go back because
that's a good thing.
You always have to understand that something has an origin. A lot of people don't understand it. You just think that's where it is, but where did it come from? Where did that come from? Where did that story come from? Right? And so anyway, what are we talking about? I don't want to, that's too deep. But
everybody ain't ready for that. They're not ready for all that.
You know, they say, as a man believeth, so shall you be. Your beliefs are going to be your reality. That's why it's wrong to talk about anybody's belief. If you believe in the snake, you cool with me. I don't care. You want to believe in the goat? I don't care what you do with your goat. I don't care. But don't come on my door talking about me and the goat come in. No, man, no. Goat, man. But the point is, you know, your beliefs are very important. Everybody should be respected by it.
That's true. That's true.
And they say, well, Chris, are you religious? No, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual because my culture, my bloodline was spiritual. And it was through my bloodline that religion came from. Now, that's just, it is what it is. Christianity came out of Egypt, okay? And it was through Ptolemy, you know, and Christianity was...
It's a lot with Christianity, too, that a lot of people don't really know.
I'm just saying, you know, it's and so I'm not religious because I believe that religion has killed more people. I mean,
wow.
You can see pictures where even they came to the Indians and said, in the name of the Lord, you need to be with us. They were fine for like 5 million years. They were cold. You know, they said our water's fresh. And once that religion got in there, they died. I don't understand that.
Right. You're right.
You know, you went to Africa, you said, hey, you're going to learn whatever they died. Even during slavery, they was teaching you about Christianity, but they beat your ass every day. You know, and they said it's because that's where it's supposed to be. So no, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual.
Spiritual, yes.
Because I have I believe God is me and I protect that, and God protects me in me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want anybody to get, like, look at it, he's a heathen.
But you got to learn how to separate the two. Some people don't know how to. So I get what you're saying. I get it.
I think also people don't go deeper and read more. There's a trillion books out there. And you can learn a lot from other religions. There's good in all religions, but you're so blind. I don't care. I ain't got a dot on the head. I just look like a target. I ain't gonna go there.
Right.
Like, no, it's not. It's the third eye. What is it? So, I'm just saying there's so much information. Let me tell you something. The Library of Alexandria, even during the time of Cleopatra, where they had all of these books going back of stuff that was amazing. But the Greeks came in and they burned it. They burned that library. You know what kind of information could have been in there to let you know? Why would you burn it? And even when we get into our civilization, Hitler, he burned all the books. Or even in Islam or whatever, they burned a book. Why are you burning the books?
Too much information.
And so when you take away the information, you leave people ignorant. Because if you don't know the rules of the game, how can you play it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
if you don't
I do.
know the rules of the game, how do you know how to play? So if you come to teach me something and I go, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, I get it, it's your perspective, but where'd it come from? You don't even know. You don't know, but you try to teach me. So
yeah, that's true.
I find that I believe, look, love yourself, love and respect others. The main thing I think that runs through everything is do unto others you wish them to do unto you. Just do good, man. All of the other dogma and stuff that come along with it. There's so much hate in the church to me. It's like, I heard there's a lady paying her tithe for 40 years. I think she missed 2 payments or something because she got sick and died. And they said, we can't bury you.
I heard
you didn't
that.
pay your time.
Yes.
I said,
that's crazy.
Gracie been paying for 40 years. Okay,
40
how
years.
long Gracie been paying? So me and religion is
but it's real though. It's real.
It is real. It is real. It is real. And if you open your eyes, you say, well, the world now is so bad. So bad.
Yes.
People are dying by souls are taken off of this earth, whatever. But the next thing you know, the first come out your mouth, well, do you believe in this? Why would you ask me that? Ask me, did I help somebody today? Ask me, did I feed somebody today? Why are you asking me that to figure out what team I'm on? We should be on the same team, right? The
That's
survival
true.
of the civilization on the planet. You
You're right.
understand? But you have to understand too that also said 1,000 years ago, a divided house will surely fall.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
are a divided people.
Mm.
Okay. And so we will surely fall. You
Wow.
know,
That's scary. That's scary.
it's scary, but
That's
it's
so
real.
scary.
Every 5,000 years, civilization, there's a rise of a civilization, and then there's the fall. Every 5,000 is something years. And that could be traced back. You don't have to take my word for it. He don't know what he talking about. He just do your due
No, you're
diligence.
right though. You're right.
Yeah, do your due diligence. It doesn't have to happen, but it does because again, it's ignorance, right? Why in the world? Why in the world would we choose to spend trillions of dollars to get on a rocket and go to a planet, to go to a rock, when our planet is dying?
Dying. Yes.
What kind of sense is that? I was listening to CNN today. This tripped me out. And the lady was like that. So we need more money, okay? So that we can do this with more money. Okay, we're going to get you more money. Thank you, get you more money. The Black community has been asking for money for 100 years. And you don't hear nothing about it. It's like, well, what about? You can't. Well, we just don't have it in the budget. We just don't have it. We've been looking for it. But every time I get on, though, y'all find $1 trillion, $8 billion. Oh, we asking for $500.
Yeah.
Damn, we can't find it.
Oh, wait a minute. Or they'll put a card as, oh, y'all always want something for free. No.
Yeah, but they
deserve.
get it all day long. You done spent $100 trillion on a wall that the Mexicans walk around. That was the dumbest I ever seen in my life. They just walk around, but you paid all that money. You could have put
all that money,
in the community, and give these young Black children opportunity and a chance. But you can't find $1, but you can find trillions for a wall that they climbed over. Now, that is so funny.
Over. That is, over. But it's sad.
I saw.
And you know what? I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I don't know about Atlanta, but here in Chicago, I remember when I was coming up back in the 80s, we had like different programs. We had the Boys and Girls Club, we had the YMCAs, everything was free. Everything was free. It was something for us to do. You know, we stayed involved in something, but it's like now they took everything away. They shut everything down. So now the kids is like wondering, like, what do I get into? That's why you hear the crime rate is just going up. You hear about 10-year-old babies out there shooting people and robbing people because we have no type of resource, none whatsoever.
Before I forget, I knew that I forgot when I was talking about epigenetics. The solution is us coming together. If the problem is division and falling, the solution is coming together and rising. Why don't we? Right? The most creative people on the planet. We can make it. We can design it. We can make it. We can distribute it. We can market it. Come on, man! Look what we did with hip hop. Get out of here.
Black magic, right?
Right. But because of epigenetics, it doesn't allow us to come together. That's it. It doesn't. Let me give you the perfect example. Colin Kaepernick. I know this is gonna get a lot of people, but I don't care.
Can't care.
I don't care.
Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Speak it.
Colin Kaepernick said, "I'm taking a knee because my babies are being killed in the street." All right, my people's children are being killed in the street. Now, I'm not exaggerating anything. That was the reason, right? So he says, "I'm gonna take a knee because I'll risk everything I got because I care this much for my people and the children." He took a knee. Everybody didn't take that knee with him.
No.
So, and I was shocked. I was like, because had everyone took a knee, the deaths that happened after that never would have occurred.
So why do you think a lot of people didn't take the knee?
Oh, they care about the bling. The bling.
Yeah.
They didn't want to lose that bling.
Yeah.
So people got on the phone, hey, don't take that knee now, bro. You know you just bought that $3 million home. Got your pretty little wife now.
Wow.
Come on, you got your pretty little wife. You like that watch, right? That wow. Rolex. You got that Rolex. Then yeah, I got the new. Okay. All right, stand your ass up. Stand your ass up.
Yeah.
So, but now, what did that do, though? What did that do? Now, had all the Black people that said, well, of course I'll take a knee. I care about the babies, right? Had you all taken a knee, if we had all taken a knee, you would have brought the establishment to their knees. Because now it's about the money, right? It was like, oh, snap. Okay, let's try to fix this. But I think there was an assurance that y'all weren't going to take that knee together. And if you didn't take that knee, they're going to change the narrative. The narrative now became, it's about the flag. Dude, ain't that nothing to do with the flag?
Right, nothing to do. No,
nothing to do with the flag. We already know that. It was about the babies and the people, us getting killed in the streets. So of course we should have took that knee, but we didn't. Now, the people that died after that, you now realize that his sacrifice was to show the picture, which we see now. So I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. Chris tripping, get Chris on the news. I'm not tripping.
Right.
And they were killing us. And this is not new. This is not new. What's new is the cell phone. That's what's new. But they've been doing that. They've been doing that. And so what was more important to me was, without everybody taking the knee, it gave a global picture that we really don't care about the church.
Nope.
What race, what culture says to the world they don't care about their own babies? We did.
Man. Oh my God, that's sad.
Am I right? I mean, come on now.
You were so right. You're so right.
Because if it was about the babies, which was originally known, why didn't you take a knee?
Yeah.
What were you so afraid of that you couldn't take a knee for these babies? And I think it was because of, the little shiny things.
Yeah.
The little shiny things.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm gonna get you in trouble.
Sad.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not listening. This is what you call Black media, okay? And we talk about it all over here, so you ain't got to worry about all that. We talk about it all. I'm telling you, I had
that's cool with me.
I had somebody come on the show last week. He's running for governor of Illinois, and he's a Republican, but he came on the show to explain his side of the story and how he really feel about different communities. So I talk about it all, and I kept it 100 with him, but he kept it 100 with me. So yeah, it wasn't no sugarcoat. No, it was real talk. Yeah. So yeah,
it's just okay. So anyway, so that's that. Now I'm into health and wellness, type 2 diabetes. Yeah, I'm pre-diabetic now. And let me just tell you about this journey, and I got to jump. I remember when I turned 50, I had never been sick. I stopped being sick at 24. My last cold at 24, I'll never forget. And so I remember feeling dizzy, I had to urinate. It was crazy urinating. I mean, where I had to stop in the middle of a highway to pee. Now, that's right. You can't even make it to the west. I didn't know what that was. I know, stop the damn car. I got to pee. It's ridiculous. So my friend said, Chris, that might be a problem. My mother has diabetes. You might have diabetes. We went to a fire and just take my blood, which I never did before. They said, oh my God, you need to go to the hospital with her. So anyway, it was in California. The doctor figured out, he said, man, my A1C was like 13. I was almost like in a walking coma. And he said, Chris, he said, you're going to have to go on insulin. I said, nah. And he started, you get that talk. He said, look, I need to talk to you. I hate that. That's serious, right? I don't do that. I like to stay happy, but when you be like, I'm like, no, you don't need to talk to me. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, he's going, no, you can lose your feet, eyes, you know, you can go blind, you can do this. And I'm looking at the ceiling like, this is so surreal to me. This is real now. This is real. But my mind didn't go to being so into that. For some reason, my mind went to, but there's a way out. And then my mind started to show there were certain people I saw on television, from Drew Carey or other people, that beat it, or that, you know, whatever. And I said, I don't, if they could, I know I could do it. This is all going through my head while he's giving me the death, you know, you'll be dead in 6 hours. Anyway, so he didn't say that, but I'm just saying it was so dismal. My future was so dismal where he was like, yeah, you're going to be on this. You know. I said, Doc, I'll be back in 3 months. He said, Mr. Pearman, what? I said, man, I'll be back in 3 months. He said, I can't let you go. I said, well, I can't do insulin, brother. It just can't be my reality. So he gave me all, you know, metformin and glipizide and all these pills. And I remembered, you know, my inner soul told me, you know, man, I heard you can do it with diet and exercise. And so I went and I lost 50 pounds and I changed my lifestyle of eating. I did this, came back, my A1C was like 6.0, whatever. He was like, oh my God, this is amazing, Mr. Pearman. Mr. Pearman, this is amazing. And so forth and so on. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, but Doc, you know, I know you got all you make all the money, that's good. You know, I saw your Phantom outside, it was beautiful. My man. But why the hell you didn't tell me that? You went straight to the damn insulin and shit. I could have listened to you. I've still been shooting my butt up with insulin, but I didn't. Thank God. I love you, Doc. I love you, but I'm glad I didn't listen to you.
Right.
And I said, but why didn't you tell me that? He said, I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. He said, man, we're trained. We're not trained for that. We're trained. Right. Wow. We're trying to give you the Band-Aid, bro. Give you the pill.
Wow. That's deep.
I'm just telling you, you know, I said, and there are so many other alternative situations, but again, you're just limited to what you were taught, and then if that's all you know, that's all you know. And I'm like, okay, but he was so impressed, and so I continued on the journey, and then I decided, you know what, I want to be in that position where I can at least help others. And so I just started. I went in and got my certification as a physical trainer because I want to learn about, you know, the anatomy and so forth like that without having to go 8 years up in this joint. So when I speak, I can speak about it not only from experience, but then I started helping people lose weight. I have people get rid of their diabetes or go on pre-diabetic. I mean, you never really get rid of it, but it took the A1Cs down. I had people that gotten off the high blood pressure medicine or down. I'm not saying I'm a doctor because they'd be like, you need to talk to this brother because he ain't got a diploma. We need to lock him up. Yeah, we need to lock him up this Thursday. Why? So please ask your doctor whatever. But I'm not coming at you with prescribing nothing. All I'm saying is, man, eat a sweet potato, bro. Stop eating processed foods. You know, the first paragraph in the book when I went to learn to become, you know, a wellness expert, personal trainer, the first paragraph was the government says 75% of Americans are going to come down with a chronic disease due to poor nutrition and lack of exercise. I said, damn, that was in the first paragraph.
Wow.
So what did that tell me? Well, if I have a good diet and I exercise, I ain't gonna come down with no chronic disease. Makes sense to me.
Yep.
So tell my client, let's change it up. Let's change it up now. Let's get off the hog head cheese. Let's get off the fried pork chop. I love all that stuff. Smothered chicken. I love all that. You know, I grew up with it. Yeah, I loved all of that. Right. But I came down with a chronic disease that had me now scared of losing my feet and becoming blind or whatever. And I'm like, oh, what? Fried chicken wing? I said, no, ain't finna sweet potato. Now I'm walking on nubs because I said I had to have it. You had to have it. Yep. Can you roll me over there to the
nothing like it, I'm telling you.
So I think now more than any other time in our history, in our lives, in our culture, we need to start thinking about becoming healthy. You know, you go to these churches and they teach you about Jesus, but everybody in the church overweight, they got diabetes, got blood pressure, and their life that they're living right now, they're not thriving. Although we want to teach them how to live after you die, I think that's great. But what's wrong with teaching you how to live and thrive right now? Because there ain't nobody I know that I talked to came back and told me what's happening after the lights go out. Ain't nobody done that. And everybody has left off this earth. You better believe me. Now, you may have other stories about they probably flew up to the cloud or whatever. I tell you what, everybody leave up out of here. You understand? And more come in. You make room for others to come in.
Wow.
That's just the way it is. So we already know that we have a temporary time here. Why are we going to live this temporary time in sickness and distress and and suffering, right? And suffering, you know, and you know, so we suffer from obesity. We suffer from high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. In our culture, the thing about it is we feed each other this. You go to church, and right after church, you got dinner. What's on there? All the fried pork chop. Grease coming out the preacher's neck. Preacher got grease coming out of there. Is that sweat, Preacher Bill? No, that's grease, that fish grease. You know, and so all the women, bless their heart, they got the big gowns on, they big, and they tired, they sweat.
Man, that food is so good.
It's good, though. The cornbread and whatever, it's good.
Man.
You know.
Hot water cornbread. Oh my God.
But I can't get up. And listen, I'm from the South, so I know people tell me you don't. No, I'm from the South. Anybody got to tell me?
You from where it originated from?
Put it down. I'm from. I love that. I grew up with it. I loved it, but it got me sick.
Wow.
And so I had to change my lifestyle, and in changing my life, you say, well, Chris, you look so good. You're 61 or whatever. I said, man, that ain't nothing but diet, good water, and exercise. That's what it is. I train people Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday via virtual training, mostly women, which is, you know, and they're overweight and want to lose that weight. And we deal with meditation, this and that, and this, and they're changing which they didn't think they would. Losing inches, losing weight, feeling good. Because my thing is, when you get up, can you say, I feel good? This morning, I feel good. I said that on my post. I feel really good. Every day, I feel really good. But sometimes people feel bad is so long, they think it feels good. And it doesn't. When I was overweight, I would bend down and tie my shoe. I would have to come up because I was out of breath.
I can contest to that.
Stomach was crushing my lungs, right? And so my children say, "Daddy, were you running?" I said, "Yeah, I ran around the house a couple times. I ran. Daddy exercise, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's good, Dad." Hell no, I was trying to tie my damn shoe, and I was out of breath. Wow. Seriously, I had to come up for air to tie my damn shoe. That's crazy. And the thing about it, and then when you marry, and then see, it's hard if you work with people. And then your wife be telling me, "Hey, Chris, you want some more pie?" No, I'm good. You sure? Because, you know, they keep feeding, keep feeding. Or you're like, honey, I'm going to the store. You want me to get a cake? Pick up a cake. And you know you're dealing with a big. And the problem is that we teach our children that. When I was growing up, I'm much older than you, I'm sure. We didn't have overweight camp friends. We would have one or two. That'd be the fat kid. Unfortunately, they probably got ridiculed or whatever. That's life. But there was only one or two. These women were fun. Our girls were fun. Hot pants, afro puff, halter top. It was like, damn.
Look at you.
I'm just saying.
You was a bad boy. You was a bad boy.
Oh, bad as hell. Bad as hell. But we had exercise, we had the PE, we were always outside or whatever. Kids now are just stuck in their room playing video games together. And we're teaching them the same bad habits they have. Now they're coming down with type 2 diabetes earlier, high blood pressure earlier. So when people kind of say, well, I hate Chris, he's a hater. Okay, That's not what I'm, you fat shaming. No, I'm not. No, I'm just saying you can get sick. And if I'm not here to say you can get sick, but you on the people that you got telling you want more pie, who's your friend?
That's true.
Who loves you?
Mm.
Who loves you? Because I care about whether or not you thrive in this little time that you have. Because Michael Jackson gone, Prince gone, Whitney gone. We're going to get out. You don't know when our time comes. But during that time, we were gifted this life. And if we were gifted to live it and thrive in it, love each other. Thinking is clear. Whatever, all of that has to do with our diet. All of that has to do with exercise to be able to have a dream and to manifest that dream. But now, if we happen to manifest a dream, we're too sick to go to it and get it. Right? We're too tired. And this is the last thing I have to say. In Puerto Rico, when they had that big hurricane, I'll never forget it. And God was going to house to check, make sure they got everybody. You remember it? It was down there in the boat.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, this lady. She was huge. And she was up on the bed and the water was right up at the level of the bed. She couldn't move. He was like, come on. She said, I can't move. Why? She said, because I don't have my medicine. So she was going to lay up there and die.
Wow.
Because so you choose obesity and they tell you it's going to bring this to you. That means you're going to get tethered to medication. But what happens if the supply chain gets cut? Now, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. And whose fault is it? That was your fault.
Yeah.
That was your fault. And so we teach this to our children. And so the cycle continues and continues. And it just needs to stop.
Yeah, generation to generation.
If you love each other.
Yeah.
And teach each other about being together, about being healthy, eating good food. You know what I'm saying? I might ask you
now,
to
do you
eat
take
anything.
vitamins? Do you take vitamins?
I take a thing called spirulina. And spirulina is the most nutriently packed it's a superfood. I put all my clients on that too. Because when you're hungry, it's because your body is requiring you to replenish the vitamins and minerals. Our food today doesn't have it like it used to be. Or you're eating processed food that definitely doesn't have it. So it's going to break you down. But spirulina comes from the Aztecs. You got to go back. So anyway, all right. So we good?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go and get that. I enjoyed you too. Oh my God, you was hilarious. You was funny. Should have been a comedian.
I've been in comedy all my life. So
oh my God. Well, I do appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I hope that you give me a link so I can put this on my Facebook.
I sure will. And also, hopefully you can, we can hook up and we can do some stuff in Chicago. Huh?
She said you had a show. What kind of show you got?
Okay, that's John.
All right. I have Wellness Wednesdays, which is on every Wednesday, depending on the time, because I either have guests from out of California or out of the country or whatever. But it's called Wellness Wednesdays. And this is where we have topics, and I have special guests on what are some new things about healing. It's all about healing the community.
Audio, video.
Well, you do it just on Facebook, right?
It's on Zoom. It's on Instagram.
Well, we got to hook up. We have to hook you up with Step North so you can, get some stuff
going. Go to stepnorth.com, bro. You just when you're home. Okay.
He said go to stepnorth.com.
Go to what?
Well, he can't wait. He said go to stepnorth.com.
Be on your station.
Hey, can you just text that to me?
Yeah, I said
email me with it. It's hard for me to hear because unfortunately my thing is about to die. I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right,
but listen, I loved it, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
I hope I wasn't too crazy.
No, you was just right. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So we have to hook up, and I'm going to email you. Phenomenal.
Me too.
And,
me too.
Yep. Yeah. So we're going to hook up. I'm going to email you. Huh?
All right. And do that. So, and like I said, if people are interested in getting healthier and training and virtually where they don't have to get out, Hit me up. My email is dreamsobig, DREAMSOBIG 2020 at gmail.com. I'll give you all that information. We have some phenomenal professional women that's involved in it. And that's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, from 6 to about 7:15. We have meditation that's in it. We'll talk about diet. We'll talk about all of that along with some Wellness Wednesday, because it's about time we start to heal, okay, and stop dying in great numbers and killing each other. All right, y'all.
Well, you know what? Send us my email. Send all your information. Send it so I can, when I send you the video, I can put everything on your video.
Oh, beautiful.
So send me all the information. Yeah. This all about helping one another. So we're going to make this. We're going to make it. We're going to be all right.
We will rise. All right. Love you.
Yes, we will. Okay, I love you too. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you all for listening. Thank you all that's tuning in to WSWT Radio. Don't forget to go to Step North Go and download the app, Step North Go, and click on WSWT Radio. And that right there was Mr. Christopher Pearman. He was on the show today. He gave out some good information. I will be, for those that follow me on Facebook, Sadie L. Walker or WSWT Radio, I will be putting everything under his link. So I enjoyed myself today, and thank y'all for tuning in. It's your girl, Sadie Star, and I am out of here. Peace out.
Come chill and listen.